Wednesday, April 22nd, 2020 to order. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic and the Governor of Iowa's public health disaster emergency declaration, which included limits on public gatherings, holding an in-person meeting tonight is impractical, and thus this meeting is being held by electronic means. The Zoning Board of Adjustment is a quasi-judicial board created by the City of Ames. The board's purpose is to decide on applications for home occupation permits, special use permits, exceptions and variances to the zoning ordinance, applications for conditional use permits in the floodplain, requests for reasonable accommodation because of a handicap, and appeals of the decision of the zoning enforcement officer. As a board of the city, we welcome all testimony. We make our decisions based on the facts and evidence as allowed under city code and present it in open meeting. Testimony before the board must be given under oath or affirmation. If the proceedings become lengthy, we may ask that testimony be focused on new facts or evidence not already presented. We ask that you come to the microphone if you wish to speak, and that won't apply. And I think Benjamin is going to go over some instructions for speaking during the public hearing instead, but so that your testimony will be audible and may be recorded. Before speaking, please complete an orange information card and hand it to the recording secretary. Again, Benjamin will go over instructions for the public hearing. Please address your remarks to the board when you are testifying. And we also ask the proceedings be orderly. The Zoning Board of Adjustment is an independent volunteer board of citizens. We are not part of the city administration. We are served in our efforts by Vicki Fielmeyer, Assistant City Attorney, Benjamin Campbell, Planner, and Jackie Higgins, Recording Secretary. The order of proceedings for each application will be as follows. First, an oral statement summarizing the issues and procedural steps will be presented by the staff. Second, testimony and evidence will be presented by the applicant. Third, testimony may be heard from any members of the audience who wish to speak in support of or in opposition to the appeal. Next, the board will give the applicant and city staff an opportunity to present concluding summaries and arguments. And finally, the board will discuss the issues and evidence and come to a decision. Okay. The first item on the agenda is election of the officers. Do we have any nominations? We'll start with the chair.
This is Rob. I'll nominate Amelia Schoeneman for chair.
I'll accept. Thank you. Can we have a roll call vote?
Yes. I think you should call and see if there are any other nominations, but then go ahead.
Oh, sure. I'm sorry. Thank you, Vicki. Are there any other nominations? Ron, did you say anything?
No.
Okay. Hearing none, we'll have a roll call vote, please.
Amar.
Aye.
Schneider.
Aye.
Schoeneman.
Aye.
Bowers.
Aye.
Shapaw.
Aye.
Okay. And now, Vice Chair, do we have any nominations?
I would like to nominate Ronald Shapaw.
Okay.
Can I decline?
I'd like to nominate Leela Amar. I'm sorry. You can decline.
No, I know. I accept.
So we'll have a roll call vote, please.
Schneider.
Aye.
Schoeneman.
Aye.
Bowers,
Aye.
Shapaw,
Aye.
Amar,
Aye.
Okay. The next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes. Do I hear any corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, we'll have a voice vote, please. Let's do a roll call vote, actually.
I think
Shoneman,
do we need a motion?
Oh, yes.
I'll make a motion to approve the
Benjamin.
minutes.
I'll second. So a motion by Shapaw, second by Shoneman. A roll call vote, please.
Shoneman,
Aye.
Bowers,
Aye.
Shapaw,
Aye.
Amar,
Abstain.
Schneider,
Abstain.
So the motion, the minutes are declared approved. I think we had 3 out of 5. Okay, the next item on the agenda is a public hearing on an application for a special home occupation permit to allow custom upholstery on the property located at 3020 Evergreen Circle. Benjamin?
Yeah. Before we start, I did just want to explain a little bit about how the public hearing will work coming up. So the public is invited to provide comments regarding the agenda item via Zoom here. During the meeting, members of the public will be placed on mute. If a member of the public wishes to speak regarding an item once the public hearing starts, they should use the raise hand feature. And this can be activated using the menu options for video users. And if you're a phone user, by pressing *9, and then I'll be able to see that someone has raised a hand, and then I can, well, in an orderly fashion, we'll get to everyone who has a raised hand and who wants to speak on an item. At that time, participants will be unmuted one at a time to provide their comments, and their name or the last 3 digits of their phone number will be announced to indicate that it is their turn to speak. When it is your turn to speak, please state your name and address for the record before beginning your comments, which should be limited to no more than 3 minutes. Once your statement has concluded, your microphone will be muted again. And we also do need to swear everyone in. And so once I unmute you, I will prompt you to be sworn in by the chair. Yeah, that should cover it. I will begin the presentation. So the applicant is requesting an allowance for a professional upholstery business called A Stitch in Time Upholstery to operate as a home business from the residential property at 3020 Evergreen Circle. The business provides upholstery services for automobiles, boats, motorcycles, and furniture. Staff does not consider this proposed use to be repair or painting of motor vehicles, including motorcycles, which is a specifically prohibited use for a home occupation under that section of the zoning ordinance. The applicant purchased the property in March of 2020, and the subject property contains a 2-story single-family home with a basement. The assessor lists the square footage of the house as 1,930 square feet. With a 742 square foot garage. No modifications to the home are proposed. The applicant has stated the following regarding the use: that he is the only employee, that customers will typically visit by appointment, and that the posted hours are Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. That he plans to work in the garage where his shop is from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. and then from 12:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. That an office inside the dwelling will be used for the business and occupies approximately 130 square feet. The shop in the garage takes up approximately 240 square feet. That there will be no commercial deliveries outside of those from UPS or FedEx. That the specialized equipment is limited to a sewing machine and an air compressor, which according to the applicant is 80% quieter than the standard air compressor. The air compressor is used for tools, including a glue gun, and is stored in the garage, and that a personal vehicle doubles as his company vehicle. The applicant has stated that cars coming for upholstery will be parked in the garage, and which is the shop, and that when boat seats are being upholstered, the applicant requests that only the seats are brought in, not the whole boat. And the applicant has stated that the only time he requests the boat be brought to the property is when a boat cover is being constructed or manufactured. We did receive several comments this afternoon regarding this application. Those should have all been forwarded to you. We'll get to those in just a minute, the comments that were sent in to us. Let's see. The primary area used for the business does occupy less than 25% of the total floor area of the residence, which is the maximum allowed under the zoning ordinance. Parking is available in the applicant's driveway if needed. And that due to the nature of the business as described in the application, it can be concluded that the proposed use will not alter the normal residential character of the area. I did want to address some of the alternatives that were proposed in the staff report. The staff thinks it's advisable for a stipulation that no outdoor storage is permissible overnight, meaning that if say a boat comes to the property to be measured for a cover, that it not be stored there on the property overnight. And yes, that is my report. If you had any questions, board members, I can take those now, and I can also read the comments we received as well, if you think that's necessary.
Board, are there any questions for staff?
No.
Okay. Benjamin, maybe we should hear from the applicant, and then I'll open the public hearing and you can read the comments as part of the public hearing. Have the board members had a chance to look through all the comments we received via email?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Chad, have you?
Yes.
Okay. And Leela?
Yes.
Okay, great. So if we've all read them, then I guess we don't need them read for the record, but thank you.
Okay. Mr. Wiegers?
Yes, sir.
You'll be sworn in.
Okay.
Could you give me your name and address, please?
Christopher Michael Wiegers, 3020 Evergreen Circle.
Okay, and do you swear to tell the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You can present any other information you'd like, and then we can ask any questions too. So go ahead.
I don't have any other information to provide.
Okay. Board, are there any questions for the applicant? I have a few. I read through your application, and it stated that all visits are by appointment. Is that the case?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And as the only employee of the business, is this the maximum? You said 10 to 15 people per week potentially could visit. Is this kind of the maximum amount that you could be able to handle? Or
Yes, I haven't even touched 10 people in a week.
okay. Okay. And then you're aware of the no more than 4 per hour. Do you ever have more than 4 people in a day with the 10 to 15 a week, or?
No. The max in a day that I've had is maybe 2 or 3, but I try to keep visits to certain times, so that way I know when they're coming, when to expect them, so that way it's not a nuisance to the neighbors. And
Okay. Perfect. Are there any other questions for the applicant?
I have none.
Okay. Thank you. With that, we will open the public hearing. So Benjamin will help any members of the public who wish to speak using the hand raising function. So if you'd like to comment, please raise your hand.
Okay, and we've got someone. We have Jinwei Wang. All right.
Hello. Can I have your name and address, please?
Oh, yes, this is Xinwei Wang. My address is 3026 Evergreen Circle.
Okay. And do you swear to tell the truth?
Oh, yes.
Thank you. You may go ahead with your comment.
Oh, yes. I think the concerns and worries I have, because it's my next neighbor. So, during the daytime, when new people come in, the first one is like the kids when they go to school in the morning or come home in the afternoon, like 3:30 or 2:30, sometime like that. We really feel it's not safe for the kids. Also strange cars like come every day, so you feel like you are living to like a shop. Even kids not doing like this kind of automobile repair, we don't feel so safe. That's the first one. Second, every year, let's say if every week you have 10 people coming in, you will have like a few hundred, people coming into the area. So all the neighborhood, we feel we exposed to public so much. We are not like commercial area, we are residential area. So we like the peaceful living here very much. Right now we don't feel like that. People coming in. This public, the neighborhood is like exposed to public, really not so good. So it's a big concern for us. I think the neighbor, he said the compressor, I don't think it won't be a problem, because the compressor, people operate, indoor is okay. But it's for the safety of the neighborhood, also safety for the children around. That's all my comments.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Then we do have another comment. We have Wenli Su.
Hello. If you could unmute yourself and then tell us your name and address, please.
Wenli? Can you, not sure I can do anything. I think it's on your end to unmute.
Winley, if you hover over the top left-hand corner, there should be a mute and unmute option. If you click on it.
If you're using an Apple device, you just click the screen and the options will appear at the bottom.
Thank you, Ron. Maybe we can come back to Wenli. Others? Or
Yeah. Yes, we do have another one. Wenli, we can come back to you. So we have Wenjin Li here.
hello.
Yeah, actually, it's Wendy. That's my husband.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could I have your names and address, please?
Yeah. My name is Wendy Su. My address is 3133 Sigma Road.
And do you swear to tell the truth?
Yes, madam.
Thank you. You can proceed with your comment.
I totally understand. It can help the applicant save the cost. But however, as a resident here, I would rather help him in other ways. The big I have two concerns. The first one is the biggest reason that I choose this house to buy is because I really like this quiet, sophisticated, and very resident friendly and away from business area. That's the biggest reason I choose my current house to buy in the beginning. And the second reason is because I think if we there's a resident area, if we give the permit this time, if we give exception this time, I bet more exceptions will follow. And I can't imagine, more business flooded in our resident area. It may raise security issue. It may break the peace of this neighborhood. So I would rather help him in other ways, but I'm sorry, I cannot agree. For the home occupation permit. That's my comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there other members of the public who wish to comment? Please raise your hands.
I see that we've got, I still have some hand raised, but I think it's just the people we just heard from there.
Okay. Benjamin, in the chat window, I see there's someone who asked if you could share an email with the committee. Did you forward us one just now?
That was the one, yes, hang on, let me just make sure. I believe that was the one from Natalie Key. Not sure if Natalie's on, if she can respond, because that was the one I received most recently. That message was at 5:52, and then the last email I received was, you received the one from Natalie Key?
I don't think I did.
Okay.
Could you read that into the record for us, please?
Sure, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, with all the forwarding back and everybody running back and forth to their emails. So this one just arrived at 5:31 p.m. today. It says, "Dear Zoning Committee, hope everyone is well during this unprecedented pandemic. This is to share concerns regarding the application of a special home occupation permit for custom upholstery on the property located at 3020 Evergreen Circle. While we very much welcome the new family to this wonderful neighborhood, we have concerns regarding commercial traffic that will bring non-residents to the immediate vicinity of our residential area on a regular basis 5 days a week, negatively affecting the characteristics of our quiet, family-oriented neighborhood where everyone feels safe with familiar faces. Another concern is the aesthetics of the neighborhood, which may be affected in a way that none of us experienced before." And then there were some pictures provided that were of the from the website, the applicant's website on Facebook, showing details of his work. Also, having the immediate vicinity of our living areas appear on Google Maps in the proximity of a commercial business is unsettling, perhaps more so due to the fact that there have been multiple burglaries that have happened in the neighborhood in the recent past. As residents, we are also deeply concerned about violating the Homeowners Association covenants on which all residents signed and accepted to abide by at the time of purchasing a home in Northridge. While we greatly appreciate small businesses and our veterans, as well as everyone who puts hard work to support a family, the collective agreement was put in place to preserve the characteristics of the neighborhood, and we all agreed to abide by, which we all agreed to abide by as the residents of Northridge. Having seen his outstanding workmanship as displayed on his website, we are eager to refer friends and family for their upholstery needs. I'm just afraid that the only issue here is the location is not the right fit. Thank you very much for your time and consideration. Sincerely, Natalie.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Any other hand raising in the meantime? Otherwise, I will close the public hearing.
Oh, we have one more.
Okay.
This is Ying Zhu.
Hello. If you can please provide your name and address.
Sure. My name's Ying. My address is 3026 Evergreen Circle.
And your last name?
Joe.
Okay, thank you. Do you swear to tell the truth?
Yes.
Great. You may proceed with your comment.
Okay. As I have mentioned to Chris before, I very much welcome him and his lovely family to the neighborhood. My biggest concern with this whole application is having a commercial business running from the residential area. I know that we talked about the businesses only doing appointment by phone calls, but the fact that the business is being advertised on Google Map with the address listed and office hours listed, that brings a huge concern to me because people could be coming in. This is like an open invitation to the public to come in to the neighborhood to check out the business. They don't have to call in advance. So it sounds like there's some limitation on how many cars are allowed to come to the business. But how can you control that with the address listed? And everybody pretty much can see it. And also, I second the concern for the covenant. When I purchased the house, I didn't expect any business, commercial business, running from this neighborhood. And so, thanks to the board for listening to my concerns.
Thank you. Are there any other public comments?
I think that's it still shows the people who spoke, it still shows their hands as raised, which is
Okay.
but I don't think. Did you have anything else to say, Ying?
No.
Okay.
I have to lower my hand. Sorry.
Okay, I was just making sure. I don't want to shortchange anybody. And then Wenli, did you have anything else to say?
No, thank you.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, then I think that should be good.
Thank you so much, Benjamin. I'll close the public hearing. Now it's time, if the board has any more questions for staff or the applicant, or if the staff or applicant would like to add any information or respond to any of the comments. Staff, do you have anything you'd like to add, or are there any questions for staff?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, in the fact that federal law supersedes state law, do municipal codes supersede a covenant?
Covenants and deed restrictions are independent of the city. State law governs deed restrictions and covenants is the short answer. The city does not regulate or enforce deed restrictions. We are not party to those, so we don't enforce them. It doesn't mean that they aren't valid, simply that the city does not enforce them. You'd have to go to the courts to enforce deed restrictions and covenants. I was passed along a copy of the deed restrictions for this unit, and staff, it does make reference to the residential, the uses to be residential. Staff does still, under the zoning code, again, not the deed restrictions or covenants, the zoning code still considers this to be residential with an accessory use of commercial. The deed restrictions and covenants that I saw did not define specifically residential, didn't specifically address something like a home occupation. And yeah, I'm not qualified to make a legal judgment on whether or not how the deed restrictions or covenants would work specifically. But according to the zoning ordinance, which is how the city regulates land use, this is a residential use with an accessory use as a home occupation.
Is the city attorney present? Would that person be able to comment?
Yeah. Vicki, did you have any comment?
I am here, Ron, and I would agree with the assessment made by Benjamin. Normally, covenants are private property rights, and certainly people have got an ability to enforce covenants, but that's not something that the city does. There may be some limited circumstances where the city is a party to such things, but that is something that is as between private property owners.
Okay. In one of the emails, there was a link, and it was an unsigned, unnotarized copy. Has anyone seen a signed, notarized copy?
I looked at the same thing, but I did not see an official signed, notarized, recorded version. Doesn't mean that there isn't one. I didn't see it.
I have no other questions.
Benjamin, I have one question.
Yes.
Could you just go over a scenario? I know there's concerns about the amount of traffic. If the applicant were to start to exceed the number of visits a day or number of visits per hour, just for the information of neighbors, what enforcement there would be?
Yeah, so the code does limit the number of visits. It's 10 visits per day that is allowed. And we also limit that there may be no more than 4 client vehicles during any given hour on the site as well. And if there is a violation of this ordinance or of any ordinance, anyone should contact the city and let us know. And if we don't know, then we cannot address the issue. Yeah, we can start to document it as well.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
If there are no other questions for staff, we can turn it over to the applicant for any other comments they would like to make or questions from the board.
Mr. Wiegers, you're on.
Okay. When we were in the house buying market, we checked with the realtor and the selling realtor to make sure that home occupations weren't prohibited by the covenants. So we checked into that before we even purchased the home. As far as the safety of children, I have 4 children under the age of 5, and I get other people's concerns about safety of children, and none of my children have been hurt with anything that I've done or anything like that. And as far as the visits, I've been doing this in Ames for almost 2 years, and I've never had more than 10 people or 10 visits in a week. So a lot of my business comes through phone or email due to the nature, so that way I can see what people have had or need done. I think that's all I got.
Do you ever have walk-ins?
I have had maybe 2 or 3 in the last 2 years, and I've had my previous address listed on Google Maps at my previous address, and that was over in Somerset, because I kind of did it as a part-time hobby kind of thing, and business kind of got bigger, and I actually quit my job a month ago and started doing this full time. So I haven't had very many unknown people show up without knowledge.
Thank you. And are you okay with staff's recommended condition that no outdoor storage is permissible overnight?
Yes, I am perfectly fine with that. I understand that boats and big stuff like that create an eyesore in this nice neighborhood, and I don't want to see it either. I mean, I've seen a camper across the greenway in their driveway for almost 2 weeks now. So I mean, I don't see a difference between a camper and a boat, but I mean, I don't want to see any of that either.
Thank you. Are there any other questions for the applicant board? Okay. Hearing none, we can have discussion or entertain a motion. I would just note that, based on the application, the applicant does appear to meet all standards for a home business that's set out for the board to consider. Is there any discussion or a motion?
I would move that we adopt alternative 1 with the no outdoor storage permitted.
That's a motion by Shaypa. Is there a second?
Second, this is Rob.
Thank you. Motion by Shaypa, second by Bowers. Roll call vote, please.
Bowers,
Aye.
Shaypa,
Aye.
Amar,
Aye.
Schneider,
Aye.
Shoneman,
Aye. This motion is declared approved. Any person desiring to appeal this decision to a court of record may do so within 30 days after the filing of this decision. There are no other items on the agenda. However, I think we have a new member tonight, Chad Schneider. Welcome.
Thank you.
We look forward to meeting you in person soon.
I would shake your hand, but social distancing.
A virtual fist bump
Yes.
or elbow bump.
Indeed. Thank you all for participating in this novel new public meeting method.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
It's a motion by Shaypa, second by Amar. I think we're safe to do a voice vote on this one. All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. The meeting is adjourned.